Actually, my problem's not medical. It's psychological.
What's up? Morning. It is 5:45. We're up. What do we got going on today? Look, the Peterbilt. Oh, boys. We're gonna take this bulkhead Minion out, just out west of town here. And then after we drop this off, we're gonna go over to Innisfil and pick up some empty skids. I think they are for water reels for fraction. Take that to Lacombe, drop that off. Don't have a whole lot glorious happening today. Got some ish. Starter's being a bugger. Like I turn the key, but the engine doesn't turn. You know what I mean? Driving around with one headlight. I've noticed it a couple times lately. It's been acting up. Usually first thing in the morning, it's fine, but I I open the door, put the key in the ignition, I turn it, and it's just kind of like nothing. Hold it on. Sometimes it'll start, sometimes it won't start. And just got all sorts of issues. Wife phoned me yesterday on my way home from doing that stuff. Shack. And what do we bring back? That flock tank? Just like the van overheated. Or it stalled on her too. And I was like, what? I've been having issues. I ordered a new pulley, idlers, tensioner pulley, because you can just change that. So that saves you a couple bucks, because the tensioner itself is like $200 with the pulley. So I did get just the pulley and the idler pulley and a new belt for the van. I had everything off, spun everything, and the only thing I could find was like the idler pulley was, you know, it had a little bit of play in it. So I was like, yeah, it probably needs to be changed. It's got 179,000 K on it, so it's at the point where it's going to start nickel and diming me to death. It's got idle issues. I've been in there, I cleaned the throttle body. I haven't been able to test if it's got any maybe vacuum leak. Positive crankcase ventilation valve, because it started to get, what was it? Smoky. There was a little puff of smoke on startup. So I did some oil additive and I did the crankcase vent, and it seemed to cure that up. So whatever that was, that's fixed. Clean the throttle body. The idle didn't really clear up. It's been coming up with this code. You can cycle the key usually on Dodges 3 times, leave it on the 3rd time, and it'll pop up a number on the display where the kilometers usually are. So it's just fuck. Went home yesterday, tore the front bumper off, and washed out the rad the best I could, because she usually just goes through drive-through car wash. I wash it from time to time, but it's hard to get in there and get the rad clean. So I pulled the front bumper off, cleaned out the rad, went for a rip. I didn't have any problems.
2000s is probably my favorite dash. Besides the Corvette dash in the Peterbilt, like old school.
Sweet.
I'm like 60-40 to a 10. And not too many people know that. I'm a guy at heart.
Hiya. I didn't see what it was, but not that I care how long it takes to unload because it's by the hour. That's some of the best parts. Look, a Northwell truck with a red roof. Whose own is it? Let's see. Looked like that was an MSS. Well, their decal's where their decal would be normally. Oh. You get too many people that are like, yeah, there's no rush to get things done. I'm like, I got other things to do. Not that I'm in a rush, really, but no. Supposedly there was school bus times to contend to, but then talking to the consultant, he's like, no, you're good. What should have came at 7:30? Dumped, and then went, but they want everything to go as smooth as possible, so they have everybody here kind of at the same time, so it kind of defeats the purpose of someone sitting around doing nothing waiting when everybody's already here on site. Whatever, it is what it is. A little bit of air conditioning, we'll stop complaining. Oh, now it's 8 o'clock. I think it said I had to be out there for 9:30. Home hardware. Go through all my 9 job sheets here. Yeah. Oh, 9. Round trip. Put those skids on top of each other. What up, dog? All right. No job number. Question marks. Huh. Evening. Okay, we'll zip on out to Innisfil. If you guys weren't so fucking retarded. The fucking merge sign that's like 2 kilometers back there, always mean wait until the absolute last second. So everybody's got to slam on the brakes on a downhill. After the fully loaded B train of fuel would be like, holy shit, I'm light. Just cut through all these pop cans like nothing. Nobody ever thinks about that. You'd be squished all the way up into that genie up there, just dead. Yes. 80 means 30. 20! Just contemplating going the other way, but traffic's pretty light out here on Highway 2 right now. We're on Antler Hill. I appreciate that they're doing tar. Alright, well, just go to a dead idle, I guess. 10. No wonder everybody wants to pass. Oh. It's summertime, I know. We need the maintenance for sure. Alberta highways are pretty trashed. Why can't you do this stuff at night? basically treat it like plumbing. Shit flows downhill, right? Problem with the slope here, yeah, I had to run up there and get on the flat so it could come off. If I would have known it was going to be ultra gay, I would have. They're not heavy enough to scissor flat anyways, right, to pop up the trailer. They definitely will be when it's loaded. I'm like, isn't this going to be too heavy? It's like, no, it's gonna be, we're putting on bigger hose, the reels are lighter. I think the skids will be a little less bulky because you're just slurping on one skid instead of two, so it eliminates a little bit, not a whole lot. I know when I like double suck the ones that I think it's 8 and 8, you have to scissor flat and then you're just. So when it's road band season, won't be hauling them full, that's for sure. And he wants to put the other one over on this side, which will be, I'm like, at least line me up to something I can chain it to so I can anchor it. Might have to get him to like use the skid steer or something on the next one. No problem, they got lots of stuff. I just hate being a bother. I'm like here to unload something, but their whole yard slopes this way and down. But anyways, we'll shoot back and go get another one. Yeah, baby. jumped the gun a little bit. I'm just like, yeah, that was quick. I'm just worried about getting in and out cameras, you know. The GoPro I have no trust in. We're only about 10K away and I'm like, well, it was only like probably the first kilometer or two. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't put my D sign on. 10.6 wide. D sign required after 10. And yeah, so here we are, putting on a D sign on the side of the highway. Someone's an idiot. Oh, get out of there. So these are hose reels if you haven't. They fill all these up with hoses. You're gonna have to be scissored flat for sure to haul them. And even at that, I don't think we'll make weight. Might as well do a load check while I'm here, because that's part of the job. See the other side there, the sling? It goes right in here for some reason, only on that side always. And then when I go to slack off, it just catches on there. Sometimes it wraps around that. Pain in my ass. You gotta put the rolls back down, because as soon as you slack off, it just rolls off. When you got the rolls up, when you actually notice something's going wrong, you know? Don't try this home if you're younger than me. Probably don't even have them on your truck. I don't really need it, but I'm gonna use it. Since we're downhill, hopefully that doesn't twist upside down. That'll be the next thing that'll happen to me. Totally didn't even know there was a camera there. Totally honest, but look at that. It's almost bang on. Like a professional.
Damn, I'm good! Can you feel that? Huh? Can you feel it?
What's going on, my man?
How much, you?
Living the dream. Hey, so you're gonna load all the trailers for me?
I guess so.
So, I was looking at how it was stacked, and I know, like, what do you think? Cool, we'll start with the Troy Highs and load those fucking end pieces.
Think all the... Can we get at the cones or no?
Yeah, because the center's tucked right up, so I gotta get these fuckers out first, and then I'll drive ahead for the big centerpiece. I think you'll probably put that on a scissor, right?
Yeah, I think all the cones are going on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't fucking know.
must defeat Megatron.
We are the Zybots. We can also transform. Let us help you fight.
Brave Zybots. I am 100% sure you would die.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time.